shooting down in the woods. He wouldn't leave it even if he could. 'Cause life is good, yeah!
Hickok45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you on a beautiful Saturday morning here in Middle Tennessee. Looking forward to chatting a little bit with you. And who are we going to talk to? What are we going to do today? Well, let's see. We actually are going to talk to another YouTuber, and you might already be able to guess who that is if you've been keeping up with the videos. And we're going to talk a little bit about a holster, local gun shops, gun action of the week, give you an update on some of the various firearms we haven't talked about for a while that we did videos on, and I get questions about. And we'll just talk about whatever comes to mind. Okay, I'll keep one eye out and looking over my shoulder for zombies here in the reloading room, and we'll get through this. I was going to talk a little bit about supporting our local gun shops. And of course that's a little bit of a controversial topic perhaps for some of you. If you have two gun shops in the area within 50 miles and you hate both of them, or they're not very well stocked, or don't seem to care whether you show up or not. I know we have those issues with some gun shops. And of course some people, the gun shops would just soon don't show up because they're obnoxious. So it works both ways. But most of us, have some choices there, and I guess that's something we all struggle with, is when you have something in your local gun shop that you'd like to buy. Maybe it's supplies, could even be a firearm. You can order it online at some of the great online companies and save some money. Well, I'm just kind of randomly thinking aloud here. I'm not necessarily pontificating. But I do think it's good to shop at your local gun shop when you can. We quit shopping our local gun shops. They won't be there. And boy, I sure hate to see them go away, go out of business. I think right now is a good time for gun shops. The gun business has been booming for several years now. And there have been some new shops that have opened, probably in your area too. And a lot of the shops have expanded. And of course, it's very, very competitive though. So, we'll see some of those going out of business. That's just a constant process because it's difficult, like any business. There's lots of competition, and you got to have the prices right. But by and large, here's what I do. Not that what I do is correct, but they're the best. But what I've almost always done, for 20, 30 years, try to buy at the local gun shops when I possibly can. There are folks, and maybe some of you are like that. If you can save $3.50 on a gun or on a $75 item, if someone else has it for $72, and no matter whether they're 4 states away, once you've calculated the shipping and everything else, you can save $2.37. That's what you're going to do, and you're going to complain about the gun shop trying to rip you off. There's always those folks. And I guess I'd like to encourage people not to think that way too much. It's neat having gun shops where you can go in, develop a relationship with the owners, and you can, get help. Maybe they have a range, they have supplies. They're there. You can pick up, from time to time, whatever you need. And of course, all shops don't stock everything. It's very, very expensive to be a full stocking gun shop. That's for sure. Just look around, do some calculating, and think about what that inventory is worth, even in a small gun shop with like 20 or 30 guns and a few odds and ends and ammo and things. It doesn't take long to get up to $50,000, $100,000 worth of inventory very, very quickly. But what I try to do is, if a shop has something that I'm shopping for, looking for, want to buy, need to buy, am going to buy, and they're a little bit higher than I could get it online, and I'll try to buy it from the gun shop. Okay, it's just kind of support the local businesses, as much as possible. Then again, there are some things you don't find in gun shops. Cast bullets is a good example. And I can kind of see why most of them don't get into that. There's a lot of work and weight involved in that. A a lot of back pain, and if they're not making that much on it, But supplies like that, a lot of us, order online, maybe even primers and those sorts of things. Just depends. And we're lucky around Nashville. We have shops that have just about everything. We even have a reloading shop, out in Mount Juliet, the reloader's bench. So, you can get, my gosh, any bullet primers and all those sorts of things that you might be looking for. And, of course, at gun shows, they have that sort of thing, too. And sometimes the local gun shops will set up at gun shows, But anyway, it's just an encouragement to deal with your local gun shops when you can, and hopefully keep them there, so you'll have that opportunity to stop in there whenever you need to or need something. And I guess the big thing is it really worth saving 5% on something, whether it's a firearm or box of ammunition or whatever it is, to order it online when you understand certainly that the gun shop has overhead, employees there and everything. So if they're even close in price to maybe what you can get it for online, they're probably not making very much on it. So anyway, I just encourage you to try to use your local gun shop when you can. It's I use both. I order some things online, and I try to buy local shops when I can. I buy very few guns online. I'll say that. I mean, very few. I've bought, I guess, one maybe in my life online. And a lot of people do that. I go to so many gun shows and prowl around so many different gun shops. If there's something I'm looking for, to trade for, whatever, I'll generally find it, in a shop somewhere or at a show, and I like to see it, handle it, check it out anyway, if at all possible, kind of negotiate and that sort of thing. I've just never been a big online buyer of firearms. A lot of people do it successfully, but anyway, just a kind of a note of encouragement to support your local shops when you can, if they deserve it. We've had that discussion before, and there are shops that just you feel like they don't really want your business, and you should, of course, not give them your business. Do what they want or what they don't want. But anyway, let's support our local shops whenever we can, even if it's just costs a little bit more. Okay, you have a treat this week. For part of the show this week, you don't have to listen to me. We're very fortunate that FateOfDestinee, with 2 E's at the end, Destiny, has been traveling through the area on vacation, more or less, with her family, and we were able to, well, actually, we sort of ran into her on the compound. She sort of sneaked onto the compound, and we thought we'd chat with her a little bit. So if you've not seen FateOfDestinee's channel, you need to go check her out. She does gun videos and knife reviews and different things. Very, very delightful to listen to and to watch. So anyway, she's actually sitting right here in the cluttered reloading room with me, believe it or not, in here with all the bags of brass and tomahawks and holsters and reloading presses and everything. So she's sitting right here on a stool. We're going to chat with her a little bit. So, Destiny, what are you doing in Tennessee?
Well, I'm on vacation with my family. We're doing some road tripping. We almost put about 1,000 miles on the car already, but we're also doing some camping interspersed. I've got some family in the area, and getting walking out through the woods, getting chased by zombies a little bit.
Oh, wow! Well, I hope you have some protection. Well, that sounds cool. So, tell us, how did you get into doing YouTube videos?
Initially, it was something I have some friends in different states in the country, and they're just like, what would be fun? Whenever you do something fun, just throw up a YouTube video, and I'll just watch it from way over here. And I started going out and recording shots of shooting different firearms at the range with my dad, and those started getting more attention from the gun community. And then I ended up just kind of enjoying it from there.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I love to shoot.
You got 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers, don't you? A bunch of them.
A couple hundred. Last I checked, I think I was at 2,300.
Yeah, okay. You got a bunch of people watching you. know John was telling me about you. I hadn't seen your stuff, not extensively. I was looking at some more of it this week, and it's really fun to watch. Well, tell us what do you enjoy doing the most? I know you do some knife things and just kind of some fun things, some vlogs and different things. What's the most fun for you to do?
Well, I really love to shoot, but because I'm not an expert or have any real extensive background, I like to just, like when I review a knife or a gun or something, I like to try and, like, provide my opinion, but also to add something in there to kind of either to laugh at or just to make it fun. Or I like to throw in some music that I make into my videos just to kind of keep things interesting.
Yeah, you have some creative music, I know. You do that yourself?
Yeah, I do. I've got a program that my dad showed me how to use a few years back, and I like to kind of play around with it, and sometimes I end up with stuff that I really enjoy, and that stuff gets thrown into a video more often than not.
That's cool. That's one thing about YouTube. It really provides a venue for a lot of creativity, doesn't it? Just and there's no gatekeeper. We can pretty much do what we want, and you do some good stuff. So, who does your camera work? Is that Didn't you tell me you had a goofy little sister?
I definitely do have a goofy little sister. She's great. She doesn't do a whole lot of the videos, work with the videos with me, but she does shoot with me. Actually, she definitely outshoots me on the Ruger Mark III.
So she's not your camera person, though, right?
No. Usually, I've had my brother help me with some videos. I kind of conscript whoever's around the house, like, hey, I'm making a video, come record. But a lot of times it ends up being my dad.
Oh, okay. So he's the man behind the camera.
In large part, yep.
Yeah, well, it helps having a cameraman, doesn't it?
Yeah, so if it turns out bad, just blame him.
That's what I do with John. I blame John if it doesn't turn out well. Or if I say something stupid, it's John's fault. Or something incorrect, right?
Makes it easy.
Or if my lame humor isn't funny, it's John's fault. Makes sense. But, well, that's neat. So you do your own music. You produce that yourself. You do your own editing, or do you do any of that, or do your dad do that?
Yeah, no, I started off with just the, real basic whatever was on my laptop, and then I ended up, having fun with it, and I really like to kind of piece things together like a big composition, almost like a painting. Mm-hmm. So then I moved up to software with a little more bells and whistles, and I'm still kind of feeling around with the way it works and how to do different things, so I feel like every video is kind of a new opportunity to learn something new about the program or try to figure out something interesting to present the video.
Yeah, that's neat. You get a lot of questions, I guess. I know you get a lot of comments. You get a lot of private messages, like all of us do, I guess.
Oh yeah, some of them are in different areas than others. Just like anybody, I get some people who love what I do and some people who don't, and it's totally their opinion. That's cool. And
it's same way with everybody, I guess. I know we get our share of that too. Of course, I know one problem I have is, being so handsome, I get a lot of supermodels contacting me. I get a lot of stalkers, a lot of female stalkers. And being really cute yourself, I'm sure you get a lot of that. Or do you have any problems with creepy people or anything like that?
I definitely have some more colorful fans than others. Some of the comments or emails I get are maybe in different realms of emails that maybe some of the male members of the community get.
Yeah, well, again, as I've said often, anybody on the planet that has an internet connection, of course, can make a comment or send a message. And there are a lot of people who are kind of rude or crude. Yeah. And you just have to try to overlook it. It's hard to do it sometimes because we'll get 3 or 4 on one video, and they just come machine gunning through. You're like, oh, what is wrong with these people? Get a life, trolls or whatever. So I know you probably get some of that too. And it only gets worse. I mean, the more subscribers and the more activity you get. So be ready for that. You'll get something to look forward to, right?
Oh. But that really isn't the minority of the people who talk to me. In large part, I get people who either want to share their experiences with me, or maybe introduce me to a new weapon, or maybe a new brand or model that maybe I hadn't encountered before. Or I learn a lot, and that's the big thing of what keeps me on YouTube at all is I get so many neat people your channel that I get to talk to and learn from, and that makes it so much of an enjoyable experience for me. Like the 2% of like the trolls or the like creepy dudes.
Oh yeah,
it makes it a lot more tolerable.
Well, thanks. Your check's in the mail on that. Yeah, that's right. Obviously, you tend to focus on you get some really bizarre message or something, but that's such a small percentage. It is fun. You learn, you make friends, don't you?
Oh, absolutely,
You know?
absolutely.
And being female, you probably have some really loyal viewers, gals that are thinking about getting into guns or maybe carrying a firearm, and you can provide insight. You definitely can shoot. You have firearms, and they can go on YouTube and ask you questions. Whereas they're more reluctant to walk into a gun shop full of guys.
Yeah, I definitely have. I can think of a couple of ladies who have like sent me PMs or whatever if they weren't as comfortable leaving comments. Like, hey, I'm thinking of picking up something for concealed carry. What do you recommend, or what options do you like? And because I have that female perspective, and I do have a little trigger time. I mean, like I said, I'm not an expert at all, but I at least know the feel of certain things that I prefer, and I have an opinion at least, even if it's not.
Yeah.
Some kind of authority.
You have some credibility. I don't know if all your viewers are aware of it, but we just finished shooting here on the range, and the way you handle the 45 ACP 1911 and everything you shot definitely is pretty impressive. So you definitely have some credibility along those lines. Well, what kinds of things? What do you have any special plans that you're willing to reveal to the listeners about things you're planning to do? What are your goals, I guess, for the channel? What kinds of things? Maybe you got any ideas about things you might be wanting to branch out and do differently or add to? Or I'm just kind of brainstorming.
There are a lot of things that I like doing because my YouTube channel started off as just, hey, this is what's going on in my life, and now I have a lot of viewers who like to be involved just to see what's going on. I do largely like to keep to shooting and guns and knives and kind of gear, but I also, with this family trip I've been on, we started doing some camping, so I'd kind of like to branch out into some more of that kind of gear and more of the outdoorsy stuff, just because it's stuff that I really enjoy, and there's a whole new avenue of people who can relate to that, and I don't really have a lot of experience backpacking, but I'd really like to get into it, so it's something else somewhere else I think I can go with this, or learn a lot about.
Yeah. Sounds interesting. What's your favorite gun to shoot? I get that question every day, so I'm going to throw it at you.
I absolutely love the 1911. It's definitely my favorite platform. I mean, I started with a couple rifles and shotguns, and I do like the long gun, but my favorite is still, I love that 45 ACP.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of folks listening that probably love to hear that, because that gun has a lot of followers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially this year, the celebration.
Yep. 100 years.
Yeah. So that's neat. That's everything you picked up, you shot awfully well. And
Thank you.
Any guns that you've picked up that you just did not like, that you just didn't shoot well or didn't like for some reason?
I don't know if I can say this on this show,
Hey.
but I haven't been a huge Glock fan. But I actually picked up the 19 today, and I was really surprised with how well that worked out, because I really struggle with that grip angle, and just it's kind of blocky, and especially because I am a female, I've got smaller hands than some, so I have to kind of work around it. But I think I still might get one,
Yeah,
even considering.
I don't think you hardly missed that thing. Yeah, that was impressive. Well, back to the direction of things you're going to be doing. I guess with the concealed carry law passing in Wisconsin, and we've talked about that. You're going to be pursuing that. Of course, you'll probably be able to provide a lot of help there too, with everybody, but ladies in the state, that kind of thing.
Oh, I'm very much looking forward to having the ability to legally conceal carry, because it's not something it's something that I've wished I've had the ability to do. So I'm very happy to know that that's passed now. I'm looking forward to be able to get that permit, and I'm still in the midst of my own research. I picked up a 380 that I want to start carrying once I have that option. But there's still lots of things about holsters, about what's going to be comfortable, and even about how am I going to have to dress in order to comfortably conceal, and
Yeah.
there are a lot of things to think about with that.
There've been a lot of issues. Has there been a lot of resistance to that getting passed? Stupid question, I realize. I'm sure there has been, but have you had to deal with a lot of resistance in Wisconsin?
Oh yeah, there have been, before we had the current governor, the bill for concealed carry went through, I think it was twice, and was vetoed by the governor beforehand. So it's been a long time in coming. We've really been working toward this, and there was a whole lot of opposition, a lot of the same arguments about how it's going to make things more unsafe, and people are going to be running wild in the streets, carrying weapons, and like all manner of nonsense and mischief breaking loose just because now it's legal to conceal a firearm, even though we've already had the right to open carry a firearm. So there's been some resistance in that area. Even now that it's passed, there are still some more of the left wing who want to put some amendments on it and just make it more difficult and have more restrictions and have us not be able to carry weapons in like any municipal buildings, and just make it that much more difficult either to obtain the permit or to use it effectively.
Yeah, it just never ends, it seems. It's a constant battle, but we made a lot of progress in the last few years, so that's wonderful. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add about your channel that we haven't talked about, or I hadn't been smart enough to ask you, or anything at all?
Well, I guess if you don't know much about my channel, I do like to do the reviews, but I also just kind of like to give you a little slice of my, whether or not you like it, my goofy sense of humor, and hope I can get a laugh out of people, even if you're not a huge, gun nut or, crazy about knives. I try to make my videos appealing to an audience just for, maybe you learn something and, you get a little entertainment along the way. So I like to try and mix it up with the vlogs I just started doing recently, and camping, and I involve food in my videos a lot of times, just for kicks and giggles, and sometimes I do some exercise stuff because I'm actually training for my first half marathon. Will be, I believe it's in September this year, so I've been actually talking to a few people on YouTube about prepping for that, just because I'm newer to the sport, and I'm by no means any kind of expert runner, but that's also been another avenue of conversation, of making friends through YouTube that I just hadn't discovered, in other places.
Cool. That sounds cool. Well, that's neat. Well, we've enjoyed having you and your family come by this afternoon, and you and John have been in communication. I kind of met you through John, and I was glad that you could work it out and make it up here. We've had fun today. I hope you all have had fun.
Oh, absolutely.
By the way, I made a crack about Destinee's sister here a minute ago. She's actually standing in the room for you listeners. I like to make fun of people, especially 13-year-olds, but she's standing here. That's one of the reasons she got picked on a little bit.
She just blushes so cute. I can't help but to tease her.
That's right.
She's doing it right now. It's great.
It's a target-rich environment when you have a teenager in your room that needs to be picked on. That's what I do best. I even get paid to do that, in my profession. But it has been great having y'all by. I know you're a long way from home, but we've had a chance to shoot some and gab and talk about guns, and we may shoot a little bit more if it's not too dark. So anyway, good to have you here, and hope we get a chance to meet you again, Destinee. It's great to have you on the radio show.
Thanks for having me. It's been a real pleasure shooting and talking and even getting saved from zombies.
Great. Well, we'll talk to you another time. So that was fun, getting a chance to chat with Destinee there from FateOfDestinee. I'm only glad, especially glad, she made it to the house and to the range, safely, because as you might have seen already, there was a good chance that she would not have made it. I'm just so glad that I was out patrolling. I had gotten a glimpse of some things out in the woods that just didn't look right, and heard some sounds as though somebody was stumbling around out there. So I just kind of geared up and got out in the woods for a little bit, and sure enough, there's some gal walking down one of the trails looking at a phone or something, but I wasn't sure what she was doing. But at any rate, she was about to be ambushed, and just glad that I was there and everything. And don't want to medal or anything. No fancy awards. Don't really need to be called to the White House for any kinds of presentations. But I'm just glad that I was able to protect her and keep her safe. But that was fun. I don't get to meet a lot of YouTubers. I guess a lot of it is dependent on circumstances, just like running into Such and that Russian guy, over at the Lucky Gunner shoot, so it just kind of depends on where I am and where people are and what our schedule is and everything. But it's kind of neat to talk to another YouTuber and have her visit a female shooter, and boy, she is a shooter and a half. No doubt about that. I don't know if you've seen her videos. I have not seen all of them. But I know she really comes across as just thoroughly enjoying these knives and guns. And, and it's very, as I said, I think before, very delightful to watch because she has such enthusiasm for it. And I didn't realize, though, that she's such a great shot. She is able to handle just about anything you put in her hands. The 1911, as she mentioned, the Glock, she had not either not shot at all or hardly shot one, and she shot it really well. And of all things, I had a 3-inch 44 mag out, and she wanted to shoot that thing. I mean, we were really not necessarily going to shoot it. I forgot I had it out there. It was in a gun sock and everything, and kind of mentioned it. And she, oh, is that a 44? I mean, she wanted to shoot the thing. I came in, got some ammo. And she fired off 6 shots, double action. I didn't dream she'd shoot a double action, for one thing. It's a 3-inch, 629. And I think she hit everything she was shooting at. Even one of the plates, 8-inch plates, shooting double action with that 44 Magnum, with Magnum loads. They were not special, 44 special loads. And then wasn't sure whether she'd fired 6 or 5, kind of like Clint Eastwood. And was bearing down to shoot the last one, which it was empty. And I mean, there was not a hint of flinch. Firing double action, 3-inch 44 Magnum. So I was impressed, and I've seen a lot of people shoot. But anyway, I thought I'd throw that in because I'm always impressed when somebody can just really shoot a variety of firearms, especially when it's a surprise, kind of a little bit of a surprise, young person, and all that. But anyway, we enjoyed having Destiny and her father and her goofy little sister, visit, as well as Aries, their little doggy, who got along just fine with Gunner. Gunner had a big day playing with him, and Ginger too, after a little bit of reluctance on her part to be accepting at first. So anyway, it was great to have Destiny on site here, and so far from home up in Wisconsin. And hope you enjoyed hearing what she had to say, and we'll maybe get a chance to chat with her again someday. I had another pleasant experience yesterday. In addition to saving a young lady, damsel in distress, from the zombies and having a great day with Destiny's family, I had gone to the post office earlier in the morning, and lo and behold, my pocket holster arrived for my PM9 that I had ordered from Alabama Holster Company. And part of what I like to do is, if something really works for me or I really like it, I feel like I need to bring it to you, because holsters especially, it's something that we all struggle with, and we all have a box of holsters if we've been in the shooting game very long, maybe 3 or 4 boxes of them, always looking for a better holster. And it's just a constant search, a quest that we're all on, I guess, looking for the ideal holster, whether it's inside the waistband, outside the waistband, pocket holster, cowboy holster, whatever it might be. And of course, the pocket holster issue is a difficult one because there's so many out there, and it's so difficult to please us. But anyway, that little Kydex thing is great. It's got a little ear on it. You can put, kind of push with your thumb as you pull it out. Great hook. It's Kydex, very thin. fits beautifully. The gun fits beautifully in it, and it fits beautifully in your pocket. And I've forgotten how I like those things. I had one for the P380 that I passed on to John, the gun, and just haven't had a need for the holster, to that gun, and really kind of had forgotten about how much I like that thing. But oh man, it's sweet. Just thought I'd pass that along, an unsolicited plug that they certainly deserve. You might check that one out if you're looking for a good pocket holster, and you're not, you don't have this thing about Kydex. John sort of does, I think, in a pocket holster, or I don't know. But I'm a traditionalist in a lot of ways, but man, I like stuff that works, and that little thing works. It's a beaut. And it's time for the gun action of the week. Yes, last week several of you got it right. Try not to make it too difficult. Plus, you can kind of track. You folks again who watch the videos have a little advantage sometimes, some weeks. And it was the PX4 Storm. Yes, the little Beretta 9mm that I picked up and did a video with. So that's what that gun was. Hence, helped you out, and some of you got it, some of you did not get it. It's very difficult. I mean, several people guessed Glock. I'm not sure what exactly how much different the sound would be. So it's hard for me to imagine since I'm sitting here looking at them and working them. Well, let's do this week's gun. And this one might not be quite as easy to predict. All right. Has not been in a video for a while. It's a special gun. And maybe that's all I'll say right now. So let's work some things on this little firearm here. Let's fire it once. Okay. Make some sounds associated with the firearm. Okay. Those sounds are all definitely associated with this firearm, mainly because they are with this firearm. So, good luck. Thought I'd let you know, kind of update you a little bit on the Ruger SR 1911. We do a series of videos with firearms, or one video, 5, whatever we do with it. And if it's a T&E gun, or a gun I purchased, traded for, sometimes we don't see it for a while because we're moving on to other things, doing different things, different firearms or chapter 2s and things, whatever we have on our schedule. And I get questions periodically about different firearms. Private messages asking me, well, by the way, how's that SR 1911 doing? Have you had any problems with it, or the LC9, or what about the Gen 4 Glock 19? You still have that, or is it doing okay? Yeah, and that's understandable, For all you know, I took that Glock 19 Gen 4 out, after we did our last video, and did some shooting, and it kept malfunctioning on me or something, for all you know. I would tell you that, though. And but when you're looking at a certain gun, you're contemplating a certain gun, it's been a month or two since you've seen me shoot it or talk about it, and so I understand the questions y'all get occasionally on that. And I don't know, we don't want to really necessarily get into, okay, today we're going to do an update video on this gun, the SR 1911. We're not really going to shoot it. We just want to give you an update on how it's doing or something. Yeah, we shot it 2 different times, and it did okay. Anything else you want to know? Yeah, so, it's not something worthy of a video necessarily, but I understand that you'd be, I don't know about concerned, but you'd be interested maybe in how a particular gun has done since we did our series of videos, with it or just whatever. Well, I guess rest assured, I'll let you know if there's anything significant that comes up with a particular firearm. That's one of the reasons we do this, is to kind of show you these guns and how they seem to be and how they seem to be doing. So if something significant surfaces, I'll definitely let you know. And speaking of those guns, I was going to just talk about let me talk about the SR 1911. Just want to let you know, we did choose to go ahead and purchase that from Ruger rather than sending it back. So, that tells you something, I guess. Things is pretty sweet. And we haven't really shot it much since the last video. Maybe once or not at all. I don't recall, to tell you the truth. I've been meaning to get it out, and did get it out to kind of look at it again, clean, and just reaffirm my confidence in the gun, and just kind of weigh it again against, do I need another 1911, for any price. And so, and we bought it. Decided, it's worth it. And it's a nice gun. It's, I have the Ed Brown with all the bells and whistles, and I have mostly, pretty much just GI, guns in the 1911s. There's not much done to any of the other 1911s, other than, basically they're stock. And so that gives me a gun that's got just the right modifications to it to make it more shootable. If I want to go out and just really blast away and see how well I can shoot the 1911 at something, I don't really predict I'll do a lot more competition. I've spent a lot of years or time, on ranges doing that, but that would be a gun. If I wanted to go shoot a 1911 somewhere, I might just use that one, in an IDPA or something. If I wanted to do that, generally I'd use my Glocks or a carry gun for those. But anyway, that's a nice gun. It's got just what you need, everything you need and nothing you don't, as the ads say, I guess. And on the Glock Generation 419, it's doing fine too. I have taken it out 2 or 3 different times and taken some shots with it. No malfunctions. The spring, that 04 Gen 4 springs, seems to be doing great. I think it loosened up even during that series of videos I did. We noticed the last couple of videos. Well, we only had just 3 malfunctions with those 3 weakest ammos, and it seems to even function that stuff now. So, and I'll continue shooting it. Just still haven't shot it, like another 1,000 rounds or anything, but I've shot it 200 or 300 maybe with no problems. It feels good. That's why I kept it. I have full confidence in it. The LC9, we've shot it a little bit, not much. It's doing fine. I purchased it as well, and we need to do a chapter 2 with that, and I think some other things. So we didn't get into a big rush with it because it's here at the compound. It's not going anywhere. So not like a borrowed gun or something, or a T&E gun that I have to send back. So no great bad news there to reveal about any of the firearms. Just it's all good news. And rest assured, I'd let you know if we uncover some serious issue. Well, as we wrap up this week, I want to thank everybody again for all your support and for tuning in, watching all the silly stuff we do. Sometimes useful stuff we do, I hope. Again, I appreciate you helping me manage the channel. As big as it is now, it's impossible for me to see everything, as you know, to answer all the messages and just all that. So anything you can do to help me, I really appreciate it. In terms of, again, voting people down or letting people know they're misbehaving, just wherever it is on any video. And people tend to react to, I guess, peer pressure, you might say, for the most part, if they have any sense at all, if they just maybe slipped a little bit. But we can't really affect the absolute trolls, I guess. They're looking for a reaction. But you can help me if you see something that's really horrendous somewhere, just a horrible conversation going on or something, anything that is racist or whatever, just let me know, and I'll go see if I can find it and get rid of it. Anyway, take care. It's been a great week. Hope you get a chance to get out and do some shooting and enjoy yourself, especially on this holiday weekend. Big holiday weekend, right? Pretty significant. So, happy 4th and have fun. You've been listening to the Hickok45 radio show. See you on the range.